Hi guys, this is going to be a quick review of the Traxxas Easy Peak Plus battery charger. I'm just going to try and quickly go through the points that matter. I'm not going to give a lot of specifications. You can find that online. The things I like, I'll just go through likes and dislikes little by little. The display is great. It's a reverse LCD, kind of a pleasant blue, very sharp, easy to read. Up here you can see the fan outlet. On the side here, oops, I bumped something. You can see the input slots there. The sticker you can see is where Traxxas wants to sell you the temp sensor. I like that it's fan cooled, but the fan is not too loud. It's more like a miniature blower sound, you know, very quiet. We've got this guy over here, the Dynamite Passport LiPo, and it's a good basic charger. It was maybe 40 bucks or something a couple of years ago, but the fan is pretty loud. It does the job, 5 amps up to 3S LiPo or lithium iron phosphate, but the fan is so loud it's like you want to not be in the same room as it because it gets on your nerves. So we got quiet fan here, loud fan here, but cheap. And then over here we got the original, no fan at all, but only 50 watts. That's a great charger too. Anyway, back to the Traxxas. This is an 80 watt unit. It's enough power that you can charge just about any single battery for RC cars or trucks at the full current capacity of 6 amps. And it's not even working too hard most of the time. And the result is that you can get the Traxxas series battery connector here, and here I've got it set for 2S packs, a couple of 8200 milliamp hour 2S LiPos, put them in series, and this thing will charge them in right around 2 hours. So that's pretty good. 80 watts is not you know, super impressive. There's a lot of chargers that are 100 watts, 200 watts. If you want to spend enough money, they'll go up to, you know, 2,000 watts. But at the time of this video, this is March 3rd, 2014, I managed to find this brand new on eBay for 75 bucks. So cost benefit, this one is a really good way to go. Just for your information, if you're charging two 2S LiPos in series, it charges it above 5 amps. So for instance, these 8.2 amp hour packs will be fully charged in less than 2 hours. So that's kind of good. Sorry, I think I mentioned that. It discharges also. Get in here and you can see I just push this battery type button and that scrolls through the different modes. PB is lead acid, save, load, program, etc. But for instance, if I want to do a LiPo and I want to discharge it, I'll go into the LiPo mode there and then hit the left and right buttons down here and can charge, discharge. I can set it for storage. You want to store LiPos at about a half charge so that they last the longest. Fast charge is it when it has to start scaling down the charge current, then it just quits. So you get maybe, I don't know, 80 or 90% charge, but it's faster. And then balance charge. You've got 5 memories. If I get out of that menu, back into the main one. Yeah, so we'll go into there. Got 5 memories to play with, and you can set everything up just how you want it. But I found that you don't really save any time that way. It takes long enough. You get back into the main menu. Save is where you program it. Load is where you go into it. By the time you select the one you want and then go into that, and then hit this again and hold it down to start charging, you haven't really saved any time over setting it up manually. So It's nice that it has the 5 memories and everything, but it's not really a huge benefit, I have to say. So don't make the decision based on that. Another thing I like about this charger is that it's got a nice solid case. You know, it's you feel it and it's not creaking, or it doesn't feel flimsy. It's not caving in if you squeeze it hard. It's just a good case construction. It's got a built-in power supply. You can see here, this is the AC cord. So that's grounded, just plugs into your regular wall outlet. I say regular for the US, but it's also goes up to 240 volts. And they don't specify a frequency, so I assume that you can use it for 50 or 60 hertz, anywhere from 100 to 240 volts. So basically you can use it all around the world if you just get the right cord. So let me unplug this. Sorry, this is a two-handed operation. You can see here's the plug. I'm sure there's a style name for that, but I don't remember it off the top of my head. And then of course we have our DC input leads with the alligator jack clips. You can clip this onto like a motorcycle size battery, like a 7 amp hour lead acid. Or if you can find something thin enough on a car battery, usually the leads that go on the car battery are have something that's thin enough to clip onto. Then you can go DC also. So this is kind of an all-around charger. You can either have it on your bench at home, or you can take it with you into the field and have it go that way. It comes with plenty of leads right here. It comes with, I shouldn't show this one. This came with another charger, and I actually soldered this up myself. But it takes banana input. This is a banana, in case you don't know what I'm talking about. And then it comes with a Molex. Some people call it Tamiya or Kyosho connector. Those are the old style ones from the 80s, which get about 10 cycles on them and then they start to get really hot. Just terrible connectors. Comes with a Traxxas connector. And it comes with a connector for a receiver battery pack for a plane, or a servo battery pack for a nitro RC car. But they, you know, Traxxas is trying to win the market away from Dean's, so they didn't supply a Dean's charge lead. So you'll have to, what I'm going to do is cut off the Molex one, because I'll never use those again. Solder a Dean on the end of the Dean's on the end of the Molex one. You can see I've got Dean soldered on everything. And in case you're wondering what this is, rather than use the heat shrink tubing, sometimes I use hot glue. And then not only does that insulate the connection, but it also gives you something to grab a hold of, which the original Deans are kind of slick and not really very grabbable. So the info on the screen is great. I'll show you that in a minute once we start charging. It'll show you the individual cell voltage when you're doing lipos. And just all around, it's kind of a nice charger. Everything is well executed. They give you a nice long balance lead, and that either plugs into your balance tap board. This is included with the charger. Sorry about that. XH adapter they call it. Or you can plug it into the optional Traxxas series charge connector. This is a 2S one. I think I mentioned it earlier. They also make a dual 3S one. And then what it does is basically it puts the two batteries in series and it charges them as if it's one either 4S or 6S pack. So that can be faster sometimes. And with 80 watts of power capacity, it's realistic to charge two big battery packs in series like that. Now disadvantages, it still does make some noise with the fan. It's not objectionable like the Dynamite Passport LiPo here. That might even be a discontinued model now, I'm not sure, but good little charger, but really noisy. And it is 80 watts, which is it's more than the the typical 50 watts that you have on something like this. This is the original 50 watt charge, 5 watt discharge charger. And the multiplex is the original one. There's all kinds of copies everywhere. But the nice thing about this, it's not particularly powerful at 50 watts, but it's also completely silent, which is kind of nice. This one still makes some noise, so if you want to bring the charger to your office or whatever, you have a kind of a quiet office environment, it might still annoy your neighbors. So 80 watts is good, 6 amps is good, but you know, as long as they're going 80, why don't they just go 100 watts? That would have been nicer. Maybe 100 watts and not castrate the charge capacity to 6 amps. Maybe make it 10 amps or something so that you can you know, charge things up faster. For example, these LiPos here, these SPC 8.2 amp hour, you can charge these at 2C. So the batteries I can charge at 16.4 amps, but if you want to have a charger that does that, you're going to spend, you know, over $100. So it would have been nice if they made it a 100 watt charger or something like that. Another nice thing is the fan. The fan is only on demand. Once it starts charging, the fan comes on, and when it's done charging and it's still plugged in, the fan goes off. So that's a pretty nice feature. So that's about it. Let's go through some examples. So now I've got it set up to series charge 2S packs. So I have 2 big 2S LiPos here. You plug in the discharge leads here, and then you plug in your balance leads here for each pack. You go into your charger and you tell it that, let's see, I'm going to use the program that I set up for it just to show you how that works. So now I'm pushing the battery type mode until I get to load data, and I'll push the enter to get into my program data. And here's for if I wanted to charge them one at a time. They're 7.4 volts, 8.2 amp hours. I'm going to go to the next one. This is for a 3 amp hour 7-cell nickel metal hydride. Here's for a 5 amp hour 2S LiPo. And here's for this one. So I set it up, you can see 14.8 there. So I told it that it's a 4S pack, 8.2 amp hours. So I'll go into that one. I'll hold that down for a second. So it's loaded up. Charge rate is 6 amps, 14.8 volt 4S. So I'll hold this down again and it'll start charging, or it'll do a battery check. Now you heard the fan start, so it wants me to confirm that this is right. I'll hit start again, and away we go. Tells me what's going on. If you multiply this out, 5.1 amps times 16.07 volts, it'll probably be right about 80 watts. Over here now, this is how many milliamp hours are charged into it. You can see that's going up pretty quickly. Here's how long it's been charging. Here it tells you it's in charge mode. There's a cycling mode for the nickel battery pack, so it'll tell you if it's charging or discharging. Now if I push the plus button, it'll give me individual cell specs. So 3.98, 3.99, these are the voltages on the 2 cells in the first pack. 3.97, 3.98, these are the voltages of the cells in the second pack. And by the time it's done charging and balancing, they'll all be the same. I hit that again, it'll go back to the main screen. And if I hit the minus, it'll go to some different options. Self-explanatory. You can program a capacity cutoff in case you're worried about it keeping on trying to charge a bad battery and you want it to cut off. But I have that turned off. There's a safety timer if you want to limit it to how long it can charge. Here's the temperature sensor. You can plug that in. I showed you here. You can buy that optional sensor, plug that in. External temperature, that's the reading of the temperature sensor. And this is, in this case, since it's plugged into the wall, This is the output of the internal power supply. It automatically goes back. It's kind of annoying. And then if we hit start, and it goes back to the main menu. So it gives you some good information. Now, if I were going to charge just one LiPo, just kind of like a normal charge, so to speak, if you're not running through batteries 2 at a time like I am with my Summit, hit stop and it'll stop the charging. And then I'll unplug this, unplug one of my balance taps, I want to be careful about that because if that's still plugged in I can short them out. So I'll just unplug all of these just to be on the safe side. So this is going to take 2 hands. Alright, so now my series Traxxas charger adapter is unplugged, and I'll just get a regular charge lead. And then I'll plug in my balance board. That'll plug in here. 2 hands. Alright, so this is like the balance tab, charge lead. So I'll do is I'll plug in my 2S LiPo balance tap. This is just a basic JST one. Plug that into the 2S slot here. I'll plug the discharge lead into, see if I can do this with one hand. That'll be a minor miracle. Yeah, I'm not going to do it. Alright, so we got that all plugged in, and then we can just go back to the main menu here. So program select, LiPo bat. I'll hit start to get into the LiPo menu, and then I'll go to balance, and it's already set for 2S LiPo 6 amp charge rate, so I'll just press and hold start. Fan comes on, it asks me to confirm 2 series LiPos, so I'll hit enter, and she starts charging. So it tells you the voltage at this moment, the charge current at this moment, how long it's been going, and how many milliamp hours are charged into it. So pretty straightforward, right? That's not using the charge mode, so let's stop to get out of that. And let me show you how nickel metal hydride goes. So here's like a old school twin stick nickel metal hydride pack like you would use in a vintage Tamiya. So I'll hit the battery type button here till we get to nickel metal hydride, then I'll hit enter. This is a 3000 milliamp hour pack, so I'm going to set the charge limit, hit enter to get into there. It'll ask me to set the charge current, so I'll lower that down to 3 amps. And this AUT is automatic at the top. It'll vary the charge current automatically depending on what it thinks about the pack. And of course for a nickel pack you don't need to mess around with the balance tap. So got that plugged in. So we'll just push and hold this. Just going to check the battery, and boom, start charging. I charged this one just a few days ago, so voltage is already kind of high for a 7.2 volt pack, so it's probably not going to ramp up too high. So anyway, that's about all I wanted to say about this charger, you guys. I'm really happy with it. I got a good price on it. It's fan cooled, 80 watts, 6 amps max. I wish it had a little more than 6 ampacity, maybe a little more power also, but you know, for 75 bucks you got a nice, well-built, nice solid enclosure, AC/DC charger. It'll charge up to 6S LiPo. For the RC car and truck guys, we use mostly 2S and 3S LiPo, but you can get these nice series connectors to charge them in series, and it winds up being faster. Nice quiet fan, unlike this one, but more powerful than this one, which is just a 50 watt. And of course, this is just a cheapo, you know, 1.3 amp charger that came with another car. So, thanks for watching, and more reviews coming up soon. See you later.